Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony. Welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. And today, what I want to talk about is the YouTube drama, the Giants drama between Rashawn Slater. Is he a good player? Is he not? Let's talk about it. So, I did a film analysis. He was one of my first film reviews. I fell in love with him based on how he got to Chase Young, and I feel like a lot of people were catching up on it. I'm like, I wouldn't mind him at number 11, and I'm still kind of that opinion. But you're drafting a guy at number 11, and you're like, okay, we're going to shoot him right to guard. That's kind of like saying, okay, Gregory Rousseau. It's not exactly like it. Gregory Rousseau, defensive end. Yeah, you remind me of Kyle Pitts. I'm going to change you to tight end because you did a little bit of the wide receiver safety thing, and for Miami, that's what you got recruited for. Let's do that. I think that wouldn't be that bad of an idea, to be totally honest with you. I think that might be good. But you have Rashawn Slater, who I don't think he has the best feet. You see. Though he has some strength, his arms, he has a good clasp. His arms are like pliers, kind of like a Tevin Jenkins. And he has good recoverability. He looks and plays sort of like a guard. I'm concerned with 305. He went in a 304, I think, at the combine or no, at his pro day. 6'4". They didn't lie. Ran a 4.88 40. Pretty impressive athletically. A little bit like a Tristan Wirfs. But the thing is, Tristan Wirfs was 340 pounds. He was a big, stocky guy. It's just like you're not getting around him. And he had the athleticism too, but Rashawn Slater is a little bit light. Rashawn Slater could grade out. He's very much similar physically to a Joe Tooney of the world. I know you have a lot of these guys that they're all 6'3", 300 pounds. How much different can they be? But he can be fit kind of that role. I was listening to Online Big Blue, who's a big anti-Rashawn Slater guy. He said we should stay away from him. Because switching to guard, he mentions his head. Sometimes he keeps his head down. I don't think he has the best footwork, but he is strong. When he controls you, he controls you. He controlled Chase Young, and there's something to be said about that. We have two offensive linemen that can control Chase Young. But I did a film review of Rashawn Slater. I broke it down. I said some things that he's good at. He's good on the second level. He can run. He's a pretty good swing guy. A guy that's going to be able to get that second level, engage. And I think it'll kind of work. I'm kind of on with the Kid Blue opinion and the and the entertaining opinion. It's like this guy can be good. I just trust the coaching staff to make the right decision. If Rashawn Slater's a guy, I'm like, oh wait, he is pretty good. It's not like with the previous regime where it's just I'm not sure if they're going to be good or not. Is this a good decision? But I'll be confident based on the picks that we made. It's like, oh, this guy has some characteristics that we like. We think we can develop him. We think we can coach him up. And I trust our coaches to be able to coach these certain guys up. So, Rashawn Slater, number 11. On the scale of, excitedness, I may make a whole video, maybe a TikTok type video where it's just, my reaction to people we dropped at 11, as long as it's not Derek Brown, right? But I may do something like that. It's like a 7 to me. I'll be like, yeah, that's pretty good, anything is like a +2 based on the previous coaching staff. The previous coaching staff would be like a 5. What are we doing here? We're a joke. But the thing is, we don't really have that great of a need. Just trade back maybe. But next thing briefly, Isaac Yiadom, $1 million deal. I was thinking about this the other day. I didn't make a video about it. I'm like, well, he got a pay raise, but can he take a pay cut? Why not? And he's a CB3 for our team. He's one of the best CB3s in the entire league. You can have him if Adoree Jackson gets injured because he's been injury prone. If you kind of like the matchup in a certain game, if Bradbury has to come out, he gets winded a little bit, he gets dinged up. Isaac Yiadom should come in and fill a role, man. He's our 7th round pick this year. When the 7th round pick is going on that Saturday afternoon, we're going to be like, okay, that's Isaac Yiadom. the Dallas Cowboys did that with CeeDee Lamb. Not CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. It's when the first round's going to go, we're going to be looking at Amari Cooper and having him on a pedestal. That's a good 7th round value, and you're only paying him $1 million? Are you kidding me? And he was improving as the year went on. I'm an Isaac Yiadom fan. Day one, ride or die Isaac Yiadom. And, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that cough. But I'm not editing that out. Next thing I want to do is kind of do my one-to-one comparisons of the 2018 and 2021 draft. You have the 5 clear consensus number 1 quarterbacks. I think Kellen Mond is severely underrated. I think Kyle Trask is a little bit underrated. We were talking all about him, and then all of a sudden we just forgot. And he had a pretty good pro day. I went to the pro day. Hopefully I have some pictures, but if you're watching on YouTube. But compared to the draft in 2018, man, it's hard to say, but I think he's more like the Josh Allen. The guy's a little bit raw. You're not too sure about the competition. Zach Wilson doesn't have the biggest arm, but we saw some impressive flicks of the wrist where it's just like, even though Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold did it, it's just like, well, he threw it kind of further. I think he does. I've watched the QB school. Sometimes he doesn't make the right reads. People miss this. They say, it's the same competition, offense and defense. Your players are bad, their players are bad. Yes, but it's not the NFL, because your players are going to make mistakes that NFL players aren't going to make, and the defense is going to make mistakes that NFL players aren't going to make. So you're you're making up for kind of both, if that makes any sense. Like, you're not playing in an actual offense. But they did some creative things offensively. Zach Wilson is Josh Allen. Next, the Josh Rosen. For me, the Josh Rosen is the bust of the draft. The guy is just like, who's a little bit cocky, a little bit like arrogant, and he's not really going to put the work in. And this is kind of hard to say, but I think it's going to be Mac Jones, mainly because also the athleticism factor. Not overly athletic, even though Josh Rosen, tennis, I think state champion or something like that in high school. That's what I kind of see. Not overly impressive physically. He's only like 6'3", 215 pounds. It's not like a big dude. You have Daniel Jones of the world, 6'5", 225, 230. It's like, it's a little bit of like a stern quarterback there. Mac Jones, deep ball isn't overly impressive. Same thing with Josh Rosen. Intermediate accuracy is pretty good, but that deep ball, you kind of wish there's a little bit more of that. And is he going to work hard? The Alabama throwing to wide open receivers. I don't know. There's not really too much. I don't think there's a guy in the 2018 draft like who's throwing to wide open receivers. You could say kind of Baker Mayfield. But yeah, Baker Mayfield could compare to Zach Wilson as well. But who I am comparing to Baker Mayfield, a shorter guy, somebody that's not overly physically athletic. That's not really going to compare to anybody in this league. He's a Heisman winner, and it's kind of hard to say. I would compare him a little bit more to a Justin Fields. Now, the main reason why I say this, you're from a big program, a program that wins a little bit. Obviously, Justin Fields didn't win the Heisman, but he had a transfer. And he wasn't the number one guy at Georgia. Baker Mayfield wasn't the number one guy wherever he is. A little bit of a walk-on. A little bit cocky. He plays the game with a little bit of swagger, like I'm better than you, but still needs a little bit of growth. Probably won't play the first snaps of his career. He's not going to come in and be the starter. Still needs a little bit of growth, but has the stats to prove it. And with Baker Mayfield, he didn't have any really bad games. But you think it's Justin Fields, you don't question his personality. So obviously these aren't one-to-one comparisons. It's difficult to have one-to-one comparisons. But I kind of see a Baker Mayfield kind of taking that Justin Fields thing. He impresses to begin with because of his athletic, like some of his weirdness and his kind of leadership skills. But then I think he'll flatten out a little bit. And then if he gets the right coach, he'll succeed. The Trey Lance is going to be Sam Darnold. Trevor Lawrence, they have the similar names. Trevor Lawrence is going to be Sam Darnold. Consensus, pretty much number one. Big, stocky, from a big school, won, the bowl games, impressed, whatever. But may not go to the right situation. He sometimes struggles with accuracy and decision making, but with Sam Darnold, everyone thought they were going to go number one, and he may not be the best quarterback out of this draft class. And when it's all said and done, based on situation, based on all the factors that we see with Trevor Lawrence, we've gone through. We've talked about Trevor Lawrence way too much. I don't feel like talking about him anymore. And then that leaves Trey Lance to be Lamar Jackson, a big, tall guy. The offense may not suit the NFL. He didn't really have a lot of interceptions, but kind of that weird guy is just like, can he succeed? I don't know. Lamar, I don't think Trey Lance is going to win any MVPs, but if he lands in the right scenario with a coach that can use his assets, he's going to have to sit on the bench for a little bit. Lamar Jackson, he's just like, he's going to have to sit on the bench for a little bit. Actually did perform in his first year, but that's kind of how I see this draft class going. I don't think Trey Lance is going to win MVPs. But again, these are kind of hard comparisons. Let me know what you guys think of these comparisons, the top 5 with your top 5. And hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.